Back with the WMAY morning news feed and a few moments here for your calls. If you weren't able to get in yesterday to give your thoughts on the Kyle Rittenhouse case, we'll take those calls now, but you got to get them in quick because we do have business in the 217 coming up in just a few moments. But 217-629-7970, that's the phone number here for you to chime in on your thoughts of the latest in the Kyle Rittenhouse case. It is now in the hands of the jury, and they went home last night without issuing a verdict. They also had the alternates come in and retire as well until this morning. I believe 9 o'clock is when they're back at it. And as the judge said, the jury's the one that's driving this now. So we've got a pretty polarizing issue here with the jury having to walk into a courthouse surrounded by the National Guard. If that's not intimidating enough, you've also got protesters on both sides of this out on the streets and concerns that there could be violence. And listen, I've received some private messages just by facilitating the conversation here and hearing from everybody, you, the listeners. And again, you can chime in at 217-629-7970. I've gotten private messages that are just not civil, simply for facilitating the conversation here and giving people the opportunity to sound off. So we can be civil in these conversations. That's what the justice system's really focused on, is ensuring that we work through very contentious issues with due process in mind, with people's rights in mind, in a civil manner. We don't have courtroom brawls break out, so let's be civil in this. But we do have the jury for a second day will be deliberating the 5 different charges against Kyle Rittenhouse, including 2 murder and 1 attempted murder charge. But the gun charge dropped. That is not part of this calculus. Good morning. You are on WMAY.
Hey, good morning. Hey, I just think it's crazy how some people think they're so angry and upset that, well, he should be guilty, but he's going to get off because of what happened in the courtroom. Well, that's called the legal process. And it just happens that if it happens in the courtroom, that maybe it's just what should be. But, hey, what can I say? Thank you.
Yeah, it is going to be interesting because you will have people who won't accept either way. If you think Kyle Rittenhouse did it in self-defense, or you think Kyle Rittenhouse is a murderer, whatever the outcome is of the jury, it's not going to assuage those individuals who are that much into a tribe, right? Where in this country where we have the justice system, and this was completely out in the open, completely in the public view, we heard all the sides, saw all the evidence ourselves, and it seemed to have been a trial conducted in a fair manner. But that's not going to be enough for some people. They're so entrenched in their own tribe that they won't accept whatever the outcome is, and that could trigger some alarming outcomes. And again, that's I think why the National Guard's been called out. And again, this is an Illinois teen, Kyle Rittenhouse, who went up to Kenosha, Wisconsin. Whether he should have been there or not, that's not the question. The question is, did he shoot and kill people out of self-defense? And did the prosecution prove without a reasonable doubt that it was murder and not self-defense? That's what the jury's having to decide. Good morning. You're on WMAY.
Good morning, Greg. There's just 2 things that I just recently heard yesterday. That it came out that the prosecutors didn't turn over all the video evidence. The video where they had supposedly he's raising the gun at these 2 people that they didn't call as witnesses right before Rosenbaum took off after Kyle. That they had a clear video of this incident from the FBI or whatever from the drone, but they took 20 hours to come up with this one blurry photo where they claim.
Yeah, there's a lot of questions about the evidence and what evidence isn't included, and like character evidence of Rosenbaum, for instance, and some even photographic evidence from the day before, even being able to introduce evidence of Rittenhouse and his social media from months before. There's a lot of evidence that just was not considered, but the jury has it now. Good morning. You're on WMAY.
Good morning. It's pretty astounding when my 9-year-old grandson tells me he's been listening to this on the radio on his Alexa, because I don't allow a TV in his room for video games. And he says, you know what? He called him Rittenhouse. He said Rittenhouse was wrong. He was very wrong in what he did. And then talking to his uncle, and his uncle said, but just because something was wrong doesn't mean that the law will find him guilty.
That's right. Yeah. I mean, listen, I think everybody agrees that he should not have been there, that he should not have gone down there while there were rioters burning things, that he shouldn't have taken upon himself to play law enforcement or to play medic. But the ultimate question is, was it self-defense when he was being chased by people?
Right. But when a 9-year-old can sit there and say, Nana, that was wrong. Yeah. That was wrong. Yeah. So it's really sad. Feel sad for all those families.
Yeah, it'd be interesting to see what ultimately transpires here. Appreciate that. Good morning. You're on WMAY.
Yeah, I was thinking about it. I don't think the jury has a choice but to acquit. Once you followed all the court, along with the, I guess the, gun charges being dropped, and it looks like this prosecution just really had no idea what they were up against or what they're doing.
Well, and some are saying that the prosecution may have filed charges a little too quick before they got all the evidence that they needed to file charges in the best way. I mean, they hadn't even interviewed all the witnesses in this. Good morning. You're on WMAY.
This is more than just a punk kid on trial. This is your right to basic self-defense in our nation. And if he is not found innocent, I fully expect the judge to step in, or there will be an appeal, and all of the malicious prosecution and missteps of the prosecutors will come up, and he will be acquitted eventually. So
yeah, and there are other procedures that are possible here, and it's all part of our system of justice. Yeah, if he's found guilty, there's always the appeal process, or the judge could come in with a different maneuver altogether, which could raise substantial questions as well as to whether that case advances. So a lot of ins and outs here, but the jury is driving this case right now. Good morning. Last call. You're on WMAY.
Yeah, Greg, I'm a 41-year-old legally licensed firearm owner. However, I do not have a concealed license. If I were to get caught with my weapon in my car not properly stored, I will be charged with that. Not that I've committed any kind of crime with that weapon. I've just been, maybe protect myself. However, you get a guy with an illegal weapon, underage, taking it across state line, and yet you completely throw that charge out?
Well, he did not cross state lines with the weapon. I believe the weapon was given to him while he was in Wisconsin. The weapons charge dealt with whether or not it was an illegal firearm, and it was not an illegal firearm. It was not modified. It was not a shortened barrel or a short-barreled shotgun. And there's exemptions in Wisconsin state law that allows for 16 and 17-year-olds to carry regular sized rifles.
So they can basically carry them out in the open.
Yes, in Wisconsin.
Legally.
In Wisconsin, yes.
Wow.
You cannot.
Okay.
A minor in Wisconsin cannot carry a handgun. So if he was carrying around a handgun, he could have been charged with that. But apparently carrying around a standard rifle is legal. So that's why they dropped the charge there. And listen, that's different than Illinois. Illinois is an island. We're surrounded by states that have either open carry laws or that have, different types of gun laws. Illinois' gun laws are much more strict, and we're the only state in the nation that has, for instance, the firearm owner identification card. Guys, I got to take a break. Thanks so much for chiming in here on the WMAY